there you have it. That's the trials of Optimus Prime. What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is Webster's We're talking about Transformers Last Night. This is episode number 163. And I want to first start off by asking you guys this question. How y'all doing out there? Are you enjoying this web series, The Road to TF5? I am. I'm enjoying making these videos for you guys, interacting with you guys, and I just love speculating and talking about this highly anticipated sequel, the 5th installment of the Transformers Now cinematic universe. This web series, The Road to TF5, started in summer of 2014, right after I was done talking about Transformers Age of Extinction. We're now up to 163 episodes, and we're still going strong because there's still a lot to talk about. So you'll notice that in this episode, the title of the video is Knights vs. Infernocons, The Trials of Optimus Prime. Now, there's an explanation for that, and you'll know as I continue talking in this episode. So, let's just first start off with this image right here. And you all know this image. You've seen it before. It's a screenshot taken from trailer 3 of Transformers Last Night. And what we see here is feet stomping down. Optimus Prime is right beside it, and this happens immediately after Optimus is dropped by Dragonstorm. They're in a very mysterious looking environment, and we have some ideas about where they are at right at this very moment. And then it is followed by this comment here from Jasem Kaspar. I am 100% sure it's not Dragonstorm's foot, which wants to step on Prime. It's way much bigger than his foot the shot before, and it even looks completely different. I think we just saw Infernicus, guys. And then there's this comment here, and Bonnie the Bunny says, it doesn't seem to me that Dragonstorm is helping Optimus, because if you look closely, Optimus seems to be trying to hold on to Dragonstorm to maybe get on and try to kill Dragonstorm, and then it looks like Optimus gets slammed into the ground because it doesn't look like Optimus is ready for that and fails the landing. So that's all. These are all very good points and valid points that you bring up, and so I decided to put out a tweet. And the tweet reads, does this foot belong to Dragonstorm or Infernicus? Vote now. Like for Dragonstorm and retweet for Infernicus. Hashtag the road to TF5. And I tweeted this back in April 23rd, so like 2 weeks ago. And I got 28 retweets for Infernicus and 160 likes for Dragonstorm. So based on this sample here, most of the people agree that it is Dragonstorm's foot, because after all, the scene appears to be the same shot as when Dragonstorm drops Optimus. I know there's a little bit of this gap. It just dissolves in and out. So we really can't guarantee that it's the same shot, but it really does look like the same shot. And considering that, the context of the scene is Dragonstorm dropping off Optimus Prime, then it would make sense that it's the same foot, like it belongs to Dragonstorm. But I'm really not sure 100%. I believe that it is Dragonstorm, but of course, how can I really confirm that? But I'm leaning towards that. Now, this leads me to wonder, are they fighting? Okay, are they fighting or are they allies? I really don't know. Dragonstorm has an Autobot logo on his box, but of course, we do know that Optimus Prime turns evil, complete with purple eyes. So, which brings me to talk a little bit about the Infernocons, and of course, we know what the Infernocons are. There are these beings, like these things, all right, that eventually combine to form Infernicus. And in the toy form, they're really just the Legion class combiners of Abominus. But when they're combined, they form Infernicus into this huge thing that you see right here, which is a retooled, repainted Abominus, the Legion class combiner. But look closely. Check this out. Look very closely on this box. That's an Autobot logo in the background, and that is a very evil looking character. Infernicus looks evil as hell. He's got horns, he's got red eyes, he looks really evil, but he's got an Autobot logo there. And what does that represent? And like it could represent anything. But check this out. You got Skeletron here, and he's got a Decepticon logo in the back. So what does that represent as well? I mean, we do know that Optimus is good, and we do know that the Cybertron Knights, which is made up of Skeletron and Steelbane, a couple of other characters, they're all fighting, Optimus Prime. So at the end of the day, we still got a Decepticons versus Autobots and Autobots versus Decepticons. So it's a little bit confusing here. So let's just go back to Infernocons, okay? So maybe the reason why they put an Autobot logo here with Infernocons is because, well, the Infernocons are actually fighting an evil Optimus Prime. And if he's an evil Optimus Prime, then essentially it's good versus evil. Or it could just mean evil versus evil. And then for Skeletron and Steel, well, Steelbane's an Autobot, but here it says Skeletron's has a Decepticon logo. Perhaps it means that, well, Optimus is a good guy, you know, and then Skeletron is you can't have Autobot versus Autobot, so by default they place the Decepticon symbol over there. But it's still a toy. It's still just a toy. It might not mean anything. We maybe shouldn't just we shouldn't look into it too much just because it's just a label that they put on a toy. So maybe it's just that. So which leads me to talk about the Trials of Optimus Prime. And what is the Trials of Optimus Prime? Well, the Trials of Optimus Prime is basically the biggest thing that Optimus Prime goes through in the entire Transformers cinematic universe, which is what happens in this film. So we're up to the 5th film now, and it looks like Optimus goes through the biggest conflict of his entire career in the film franchise. And what he does, based on what I know, is that he fights Bumblebee, he fights Megatron, he fights the Cybertron Knights, he fights Dragonstorm, he fights Infernocons, then he fights Infernocus. So that's a lot of fighting for Optimus Prime. I don't even think Optimus even fights any of the other Decepticons besides Megatron. I don't think he fights Nitro or Onslaught or whoever else is out there, or Barricade. I believe that he fights all those characters that we've just mentioned, just because there's complete evidence of that. Well, not 100%, but there's still a lot of visual evidence which shows that there's going to be a fight. So let's go through them. And what I like to do, like for the like at the end of this video, is I'd like to try to speculate on the order of which these events take place. And that's what we're going to try to do in this video. That's the whole point of this video. I'd like to find out what is the order of when these fights take place, because perhaps we can try to speculate on the what occurs in terms of the Trials of Optimus Prime, the story behind all this fighting. We're going to find out about that, or at least we're going to speculate on that. I mean, we could be right, we could be wrong, but it's always fun to speculate. That's the whole point of these videos. So, in no particular order, we got Bumblebee fighting Optimus Prime, and this takes place on that giant rising platform that comes up from the water. And I believe the reason why this happens is, you know, it's one of the things that Optimus was ordered to do for him to redeem himself as instructed by Quintessa. So Optimus Prime turns evil. He has purple eyes, and then he has a fight with Bumblebee. I don't know the outcome of that, but I don't want to assume that Bumblebee gets ripped in half, okay, by the hands of his leader, okay? The next fight, once again, in no particular order, is obviously going to be a fight against him and his arch nemesis, Megatron. And that takes place, or at least I believe that takes place, inside the thing that rises up from the water that Bumblebee and Optimus fought on. So, the Megatron and Optimus fight actually takes place inside that thing. Okay? That's what I believe. The next fight is the Cybertron Knights. We know that this takes place, and this takes place above that, like on the surface of that thing. We know that, okay? Then there's Dragonstorm. Now, I can't 100% confirm that Optimus is going to fight Dragonstorm, but it is suggested from 2 banners, okay? And then there's, of course, that scene where Optimus Prime gets dropped by Dragonstorm, and we still don't really know what is going on there. Is he being dropped off, or are they really having like a physical like a battle with each other? So I don't really know for sure, but let's just say that is going to happen. That's a fight that's going to happen because the banner suggested. And how are you gonna like have a scene with a 3-headed dragon and Optimus Prime and have them not fight? You know what I'm saying? That fight takes place on, I guess, the surface where Cybertron merges with Earth. Okay. Then there's the Infernocons. Now that is a fight that we do know takes place. It is a fight that takes place that we've seen at the end of trailer 3, and we know how that turns out. Optimus, of course, decapitates every single one of them with a swift stroke in slow motion. So pretty epic. But I wonder if there's more of them. I wonder if there's more Infernocons, because like, if that's all the Infernocons that are in the movie, then we know how that Optimus finishes them all. And then there's Infernicus. Finally, there's Infernicus, which is the combined form of the Infernocons. Like, I don't know if that's just the toy or that's like something that actually happens in the movie. I can't 100% confirm that, but I always believe that Michael Bay's going to go out with a bang, so he's going to add in a combiner. Devastator wasn't really the combiner that Michael Bay really wanted for like his definitive combiner. I think Infernicus is going to be that combiner, so that like he can give Optimus a big bad villain to face off against. All right, so that's what I'm going with. And so, which leads me to believe that there are actually more Infernocons and not just the ones that he decapitates. There are actually a lot of them, and they all in some way merge to form Infernicus. So, like I said before, I'm just going to repeat them: Bumblebee, Megatron, Cybertron Knights, Dragonstorm, Infernocons, and Infernicus. So 6 battles within this trial, the trial that Optimus Prime goes through. Now, so to conclude this episode, let's put them in order. We got 6 options. Let's put them in order in how they take place. So I'm actually going to start off with Megatron. I decided that I think the fight between Megatron and Optimus Prime actually takes place first inside that thing that rises from the water. Okay, I don't know who wins. In fact, I think Megatron gets beaten up badly and then he takes off, like he always does at the end of every G1 cartoon. So that's what I think happens. I think that the fight takes place. It's going to be pretty epic, but it's going to be even better than the Force fight. But I think it actually is the one that starts the first. That's Optimus's big, his trial number 1. Okay, then he has the thing rises up and then he fights Bumblebee. And then he does not kill Bumblebee. He doesn't kill Bumblebee because something inside him tells him that he shouldn't. And also, Cade reminds him that you don't have to do this, as it's suggested in the trailer. So by disagreeing to fight or kill Bumblebee, the Cybertronian Knights, as a result of that, the Cybertronian Knights have to fight him. Like, they're just thinking that, you're not going to carry out the death of Bumblebee? Okay, then we're going to carry out the death of you. Cybertronian Knights come out. They have to do this big fight. Okay? So that's what happens. So that's the third trial that Optimus Prime goes through. Now, I don't know what happens between the I can't really even think of what happens between that fight on the ocean all the way up to, the whole Cybertron on Earth battle. But I think the next fight that happens is actually Dragonstorm. And I can't 100% confirm that Dragonstorm and Optimus is actually going to fight. But let's just say it does fight. It happens after the Cybertronian Knights fight. That's what I'm thinking. Finally, Optimus is still alive. He's still alive. So Quintessa summons the Infernocons. So that's something that he has to deal with. But I think that Optimus goes on full-on beast mode, and it's a very, very aggressive mode, which leads him to go on full-on, slicing and dicing Murder Prime, something that we've kind of seen in the past, but multiplied times 20. So that's why he's got the evil eyes going on, and he just tears everybody to shreds. And what Infernocons are left over form Infernicus, and that's when he actually needs the help of everybody else to fight Infernicus. So that's the order in which I believe it goes through. Let's start all over. Megatron, then Bumblebee, or rather, let's do this in the form of a story. Okay, so Megatron has to fight Optimus Prime inside the thing. Megatron gets away, so Bumblebee has to fight Optimus. Optimus does not want to finish him off, so Quintessa summons the Knights, and then maybe the Dragonstorm rescues Optimus Prime from being slaughtered by the Knights, but then Optimus is still evil, and so he has to fight Dragonstorm. And once he's bested Dragonstorm, or at least Dragonstorm gets away in some way, then the Infernocons get summoned by Quintessa. he kills off a couple of Infernocons, but the leftover Infernocons fight Infernicus, and then that's when Optimus and the rest of the Autobots come in and they fight off Infernicus. So that's what I believe that happens. That's what I gather. And there you have it. That's the trials of Optimus Prime, which is essentially the biggest conflict or inner conflict that he's ever had to go through since he's landed on Earth. Okay, so there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this episode. What do you think is the order in which these fights occur? Let me know in the comments section below, and why don't you fill out some details on how you think they play out. All right, I'd love to read your theories. The comment section is available for you to do that. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this episode. I'd love to give some shoutouts. I'd love to give a big shout out to the Rich brothers. That's Joshua and Jacob Rich. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate all your support, and I appreciate that you're really, really big fans of this series and my channel, so keep up the good work in watching my videos and staying loyal fans. And finally, Twitter shoutouts. Let's do Twitter shoutouts to new followers on Twitter. I'd like to give a big shout out to my new followers, JP804-84714, Sworn Prime, Seraphin Guzman, Malik, Tony, Martin306 Gamer, Adel, Bilal, and Redstone. Thank you so much for following me, guys. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and we got a lot of great content coming for you guys. Next episode, we're going to talk about the new trailer number 4, and there you have it. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me, Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name's Alex. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Peace. So one of those 3 options, but I think all those options are completely ludicrous, and there's a reason why I do not believe this at all. First of all, they